Welcome to News Channel 6. I'm Buck Chutler. Tonight's top story, why we're broadcasting from a corner in my attic. Well, it's because station manager Doug blew our entire budget on a 12-second intro. What do you have to say for yourself, Doug, you little pig boy?
Sorry?
Oh, Doug, I'm afraid that's not good enough. Say it. Say, oink oink, I'm a little pig boy.
Oink, oink, I'm a little pig boy?
Very good, pig boy. Susan, give the pig boy his slop. On to tonight's main story, poetry. Bet you didn't see that coming, you little nerds. Yes, tonight we're going live to our poetry correspondent, Nerd Dorkley. Nerd?
Thank you, Buck. Hey guys, it's actually not Nerd Dorkley. It's me, Mr. Benedict. I got you. Can you believe it? So, for our poetry unit, I'm gonna be pushing out a few poems like this one, where we're gonna kind of go over how I approach poetry on a first read. And after I do this poem, after I kind of model this one for you, you're going to be reading poems on your own and answering some basic questions about them. Questions like, what is the subject of this poem? What does it mean? You know, what is it saying about that subject? So this is Heart to Heart by Rita Dove. And what I like about this poem is, on a first read, I saw a lot of negative words. Neither, nor, doesn't, isn't, can't. And I'm like, okay, what is it negating in this poem? And then what does the poem affirm? So let's read through and see if we can get some meaning out of this. Heart to heart. It's neither red nor sweet. It doesn't melt or turn over, break or harden, so it can't feel pain, yearning, regret. It doesn't have a tip to spin on. It isn't even shapely, just a thick clutch of muscle, lopsided, mute. Still, I feel it inside its cage, sounding a dull tattoo. I want, but I can't open it. There's no key. I can't wear it on my sleeve or tell you from the bottom of it how I feel. Here, it's all yours now, but you'll have to take me too. So when I first approached this poem, I noticed it's got a lot of cliches in it, but it keeps blowing up those cliches, right? It keeps just dismantling them, right? It doesn't melt. My heart doesn't melt. Your heart is melting, whatever. It's not sweet. You know, it doesn't turn over. It doesn't break or harden. My heart doesn't harden. It doesn't break. It doesn't spin. It isn't shapely. It's a thick clutch of muscle, lopsided, mute. Right? She's got this very realistic image of what a heart is. And I like that about this poem. This poem uses metaphors for me very creatively, in that it explodes most of the cliched metaphors and starts with the literal, actual heart. Instead of saying, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, she says, no. Let's start with an image of the heart and pull the metaphor from the image. So to me, that says, okay, well, what is the heart then? What is she feeling? How does she feel about these things? If there's all these negations, you know, if there's all this negative, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, it doesn't do this. She gets there in the center. There's kind of this turn to honesty of, still, I feel it inside its cage, sounding a dull tattoo. I want. So out of that image of a thick clutch of muscle, lopsided and mute, she brings a metaphor out of that from the sound of the literal sound of the heartbeat. She gets to the literal heart of the matter. Ba-boom, ba-boom, I want, right? I really like that use of both onomatopoeia, you know, which is the sound, like the using the sound of something, and metaphor, you know, a figurative meaning for that sound. And by the way, this is something that I do as I read a poem. I sometimes will talk myself through it, and that's because I'm insane, but I find it helpful to speak out loud through my ideas. So I'm looking at this very realistic image, and that's where the meaning starts to come through. The figurative meaning starts to come through. No longer negative. I feel it doing this. It's not, it isn't, it doesn't, it can't. This is what's happening. And there it becomes apparent to me that this is an attempt to be a very realistic love poem, a love poem that tries to get to the root and interpret from there, a love poem that tries to reject like using language to paint this kind of cliched generic picture and ignore what the really core of her love is here, just this one heartbeat that she wants to share.